So my name is Lana Ryboy. I've been living in Bakeland for over 20 years, 12 years, and I absolutely love that community. I'm still in the area, and I'm a realtor with JLA Realty. I've been doing real estate for over 6 years, and I've been doing the tax presentation, sharing my own experience on that property tax protesting for the last 5 years. With neighbors, friends, communities I'm part with. So I'm not a professional tax protester. I don't charge anything for that. I don't have any business based on that. So it's just something I enjoy doing, and I think it brings value to people around me. So here's the plan, what we're gonna go over today. First of all, we're gonna discuss the dates, where to look at the calendar and what for. We'll discuss what types of exemptions exist, at least the ones that are, I assume, are common. What's the difference between market value and the appraisal value, because it's important for protesting the taxes. What is the difference between improvements and repairs? Because the appraisal districts, they recognize it differently, and it affects the appraised values differently. We will discuss how to fill out the protest online or on paper. Go over some strategies. I'll tell you what I think would be the most successful strategies for this year from my point. Also, we'll discuss how to perform at the appraisal district, and maybe those who've been there before will join will share their experience as well. I'll touch base on the topic of life estates. Again, this is a topic more to discuss with maybe attorney or CPAs, but anyway, I'll let you know what might work for you as well. At least what I had just to check. And also, I'll give you some recommendations at the end as well. So the dates. This information has changed from the last year. From this year, from 2022, you can file a homestead exemption at any time after you purchase a house. It used to be different. You used to wait till the January the 1st of the upcoming year in order to be able to file for homestead exemption. Not anymore. Anytime you purchase the house, and just go get it. It helps you save money. So that's one of the biggest changes for this year. January the 1st is a very important date still, because the appraisal district, they will evaluate the assessment value of your house as of its condition on January the 1st. So if you have a plan on installing a patio or a pool, I suggest do it towards the end of the month of January. Why? Because if there is no pool at the beginning of January, then the whole year you don't have to pay for the taxes on the pool, because the pool adds value to your house, right? Or any other improvement. And if you can do it towards the end of the month, or maybe February, you're basically gonna live a year without paying taxes for it. So next important timing is in spring. Actually, around that time in March, well, at the beginning of the spring, you receive the notices about the new values. And by the end of the spring, normally May 15th, and you have to go and let the appraisal district know if you are protesting the taxes or not. Time sensitive. The exact dates will be present on your notice that you receive from a district. If you don't get a paper copy, go check online on HCAD, and I'll show you later in my presentation where to check on where to see your account on HCAD or how to register for it. So make sure you check it there and all the exact dates, how much time do you still have, when the notice was issued, when you have the due date for protesting, everything would go online. And sometime in October, the tax statement would be generated. So if nothing was done, it would be the same as the beginning of the year. But if you go and protest, you have chances to reduce your tax statements and reduce your tax payments. What is a homestead exemption and what it does? So a homestead exemption helps you to save money basically on your property tax payments from like 10 to 15, sometimes up to 19% of amounts. That's how much it helps you to save. The exemption is applied not towards any tax amounts. It's applied towards the value of your house. So that the appraisal district provides you with a number, it's opinion of value of your home, assessed value for the house. And that's what you can reduce the consideration of how much your house is worth per appraisal district. So what are they doing and how they're doing? You can find more details online on their website. Again, depending on the county you're with. So I'm in Harris County, and we have Harris County Appraisal District. So the website is HCAD, hcad.org. You'll find more information over there, and you can file your homestead exemption over there. You can file your protest over there as well. What are the other benefits of homestead exemption? It reduces the amounts that you would be paying, the tax payments, property tax payments, but also it gives another benefit like a homestead cap. You know, the market was growing quickly in the last few years, about 20% last year. Well, I just checked the update from Houston Association of Realtors, over 30% average growth from the 2 year ago. So the market was growing faster than 10% a year, which means the appraisal district is trying to raise the appraisal values, and the tax assessors will be getting more money for the tax payments if everything works out for them. But if you have a homestead in place, you have a protection called homestead cap, which means the appraisal district can't raise your appraised value for more than 10% comparing to the last year appraisal value. The thing is, this protection starts working the beginning of the second year that you own the house. So if you purchase the house last year, the first year, the cap doesn't work, and they can try to raise the appraisal value for more than 10%. But the second year, it starts working, and it should start protecting you. But for the first protest, there is a good approach. I will share it with you later, how you can help yourself not to not to stay without money after paying taxes the first year, because really the appraisal value was like 200, but you purchased the house for 400. You don't, and the market value is much higher. You don't want to overpay, and I'll share what you can do for that. So in order to get qualified for the homestead exemption, there are certain rules that applies to that. So first of all, you need to own the house. You need to live in this house because it needs to be your homestead, right? And you should claim no other homestead exemption. You can apply homestead exemption only at one house where you live and you own, and it could be you and your family, two spouses, and there could be lots of specific cases on people live apart or something. Let me know if you have any questions on that. So some other exemptions, they include, and these are the ones that I see more frequently. So over 65 homestead exemption freezes your taxes, some of them, and also could be helpful for people with disabilities, for disabled veterans, and agricultural exemption. Again, lots of rules and restrictions apply on who may get qualified for those. And you can find a list, like that's how the residential homestead exemption application looks like this year in paper version. You can also find it online, and it gives you a list and tells you check which homestead which exemption you get qualified for. Just look through the list and check if you may get qualified for something else. Any exemption would be helpful. So selling or buying a home with an existing homestead exemption. When you purchase or when you sell, the taxes, the payments would be prorated at the closing. So you only pay for the time you own the house, and the new buyer, they pay for the time that they own the house. So after closing, the buyer is paying. Before the closing, the seller is paying for the tax. By the way, for the HOA fees as well, they are also prorated at the closing. So since the rules were changed, and now the buyer can apply the homestead exemption from the moment that they start owning and occupying the house, basically it might help, because last year, when there were no still old regulations, the homestead exemption used to stay till the end of the year. I recently was at the closing this past week. I was trying to get the details from the escrow specialist over there, and they're still waiting to see how it's really going to work out and what the numbers would be used by the tax authorities for calculating those payments. So we might see some surprises for people who are purchasing the house this year on the difference between taxes, especially when you start checking on the appraised values and how the things are calculated based on the numbers from last year or this year. Again, there could be some surprises on those numbers for those who sell or purchase a house. If you want more details, just text me and I'll explain what to look for. So market value and appraisal value, what's the difference? So the market value comes from the market, from the current sales. So the houses around your place for sale, you probably saw how quickly they fly off the market. It's crazy. But that's what the market value is. When the seller meets with the buyer in one point, and one is ready to sell for, one is ready to buy for the same amount, that's the market value of the house. Appraisal value comes a little bit, well, it's similar to that, but has more more factors we need to put together. So it depends on how successful you were with protesting the taxes before, right? Because remember, there's a 10% cap. It will affect year after year. And what exemptions you have. And what's the condition of the home, because this helps to protest the home value for the property taxes. And lots of factors. The market value can be so much different from the appraisal value. Some people tell me why it is so, because some people were doing something and others were not. Some people had exemptions, some did not. Really make a big difference. So improvements and repairs. The appraisal district, when they do an assessment, they compare different factors, right? First of all, they want to come up with the market value of your house, and then they want to see what's the appraisal value of the house. For tax calculations, the appraisal value is used. The market value is something that appraisal district is trying to pull the appraisal value towards too, but it is calculated out of the appraisal values. And when they do the appraisal value, first of all, they need to make sure that it's adequate and it's fair in the whole community. One particular house can be evaluated differently than another one. And that's, I'll go over it again when I'm talking about different approaches for protesting the taxes. But so for these purposes, you need to know that the improvement, it's something that you've added to the house. It wasn't there before, like a new room, a patio, or a pool. So the value grows with it for the appraisal district because the improvement was there last year, it's here this year. They will try to apply certain increase, and they have certain numbers they would be using for a pool, for room, for whatever. So all the improvements, they have certain number amount the appraisal district puts in it. So the repair is different. The repair, it's when you fix something you already have. Let's say you have upgraded, you have repainted the kitchen. Yes, it's called remodeling, but technically the kitchen was there before, right? You just fixed it. So this is a repair for the evaluation. This will more likely affect the market value of the house because, you know, a house with the remodeled kitchen, bathroom, floors, whatever, it's more desirable for the buyers. At the end, when the appraisal district is trying to put the appraisal values closer to market, it also will affect the appraisal value, but it would be a chain of things, how the improvement, or how the repair that you've made might affect your appraisal value, but it's not straightforward. So these are the strategies. Oh, Elena raised hand. Okay, Elena, let's hear you.
Yes, I have a question. Do repairs on the lot being counted by the appraisal? Because like I had a busted pipe outside, it's not inside the house. Of course, we had to repair it. Like, can I use it to protest?
Yeah, you can use it to protest. Let me show you. I'll go over it exactly on this slide, because you see I have three just to talk about here. And actually your approach would be the last strategy. That's my favorite for this year, especially for the houses like older than 10 years old. Normally helps. So the first strategy that used to be quite successful before is a CMA strategy. It's when the market is even or decreasing, which means it's buyer's market and sellers have to decrease the prices. So what is a CMA strategy? You look at the appraised value of your house, let's say it's 300, and then you see that the average sold prices of similar properties around, how much people, your neighbors just purchased a similar house, and you say that it's like say 250, you say, hey, it's unfair. The market values are lower than mine. You just pull 3 comps around the sold properties within the last 6 months. I would recommend not to go further. So last 6 months of the previous year, by the way, because remember that condition is the appraised value is based on the condition of the house as of January the 1st of this year. All right, so you're looking at the comps last few months of the past year. And you see 3 comps that have lower sale prices. Just use those comps, and this would be your evidence that your house is less what the appraisal district thinks it is. So that just basically saying, hey, appraisal district, you made a mistake. You just didn't know what the situation in my neighborhood looks like. Let me show you. That's it. So the second approach, and I think this one might be helpful this year. So the first one, the CMA approach, I don't see how it might help anyone this year because the prices went up significantly. The assessed value approach, what does it mean? When you look at the HCAD website, you can find the map of all the houses around you and see how much are those per appraisal district. If you see that your house was evaluated by the appraisal district at 300 and there are at least 3 comps in your section of your neighborhood, then you can say, hey, appraisal district, I think it's not fair the way that my house was evaluated. You see, there are 3 comps around, they have lower appraised values. I want everything to be even and fair. Please reduce my assessed value. Because this is one of the rules that appraisal district needs to follow, that everything needs to be fair for evaluation. Again, each case might be different. Maybe the comp that you choose, the appraisal district will tell you, hey, no, that this is, we can't use this comp for this and this reason. And then you need to check what are the reasons, and always try to find a 4th comp as an extra comp, just to say, hey, okay, if you don't like this comp, look at this one, or provide them 5 comps in one table saying, hey, there are 5 houses lower than mine. I want mine to be this in similar numbers. Otherwise, it's not fair. So that's the assessed value. You're checking what are the evaluations of the houses around you by the appraisal district. You see, first one were the market sold prices. The second one is how much the appraisal district has evaluated the neighbors around similar properties. So, and the third strategy, which I think could be most beneficial for the neighbors in Vigeland and Baynold, is the repair strategy. That's the one that might be useful for Elena for her pipe. Remember, the appraisal district evaluates the best value per the condition of the house on January the 1st. If on January the 1st, within a couple of days around it, probably should be fine as well. Even January the 1st, the pipe was bursted. You can present a picture about it, right? If the roof is 20 years old, I don't know, there are cracks in the foundation, in your concrete, in your any deficiencies.
Donna, I meant the pipe that is outside the house. Does it count? Because it's
Yeah,
not inside, it's on the lot.
It's still your property.
Okay, so
Even the sewer line that's going under the ground in your backyard, it's still your property.
okay.
The outside of the house, the roof, it's still a part of the house. And if it needs to be fixed, it's still your responsibility, and it's the investment that you need to make into the house to put it up to a certain level of value, right? And the basic idea of the repair strategy is the appraisal, dear appraisal district, you have evaluated my house at this amount, but you didn't know what a poor condition my house is at. So you need to explain to appraisal district that you live in a shed that's falling apart. It might be heartbreaking to tell them, oh, I don't know how I live in this house. Everything is falling apart. The walls are falling down, the roof is flying off, the pipes are not working, everything is clogged. Remember, it needs to be a truthful statement. So you need to provide an evidence. If the roof is 20 years old again, take a few quotes, see how much is it to replace it, because a 20-year-old roof either needs to be repaired or replaced. Trust me, I've never seen a 20-year-old roof, unless it's been maintained very, very well, that doesn't need something. So the contractor will always find something to do with it. And not always they will agree to repair. In many cases, they will tell you that the condition is not where they can repair and warranty the job. So they will always suggest, well, more likely suggest to replace it. Just take that quote, even if it's 15 years old, you can always check, right? So take the quote from the contractor, put it into your portal when you protest, and say the appraisal district, you didn't know that I need to invest another 20,000 into the roof. And then if your driveway is all in cracks, make a picture of that. Take a quote from a contractor company and ask them for a quote, how much would be to replace it. And then put another, number 2, the driveway is all cracked and needs to be replaced. And you didn't know how bad it is, right? But it's another, let's say, 8,000, 10, 12,000. I don't know how big is your driveway, right? And then just tell them the total amount of investments that I need to apply towards my house to put it up to a good, like average condition for my community, good condition, the way the houses should be, here would be another 30,000. So please reduce the appraised value for my house for 30,000. It worked for me before, but make sure you don't use everything in one time. There is such a long list of things, for a house, because it could be pipes, electrical, cosmetics, some stuff. Everything you see that it is distracted or broken, the fence that's falling apart, the pipe that is bursted pipe. So take a quote, present it to the appraisal district, say, my house needs investments. It needs repairs. That's how much is it to repair what I have. Normally they reduce for this reason. But what I mean by don't put everything in one time protest, leave something for the next year. Don't try to reduce the price for like 100,000 this year, because it might be hard. Well, maybe you'll be successful. You can give it a try, but what you're gonna use next year? Leave something for the next year. Do you really plan to repair everything before the January of next year? If not, just leave it for the next protest. Make your strategy for the next few upcoming years. Okay, this year I'll show them that my roof is old. Next year, I'll show them that my driveway is bad. Then I will show them that my carpets are just completely ripped off and I have holes in the walls, and that's how much is it to fix it. So just make a plan how you're gonna fix your house year after year and what you will be posting for the appraisal district. So what you will make them aware about year by year. It also needs to be a protesting plan. So if you have any questions, you can ask them. Well, it's only like five of us here, six, how many people? Yeah. So if you have questions, just raise your hand and ask a question, okay? Lena, you still have your hand raised. You have a question?
I do have a question. Let's say you claim a repair. Will they consider this repair as an improvement next year? Because you claim it, it means that you spend the money to fix it.
It's a repair. It's not an improvement.
I understand it, but if you claim it as a repair, it means that you have an intention to fix it. So next year, will they consider this repair as an improvement to your house? Like, okay, you fixed the driveway, it means that your house is more expensive now.
They should consider it as a repair, not as improvement. Improvement is something that's where they add the value to your house. Under the breakdown of the values per home, there is a
no, I understand it. Like this year you claim it as a repair, right? So they need to lower the price. But next year, will they consider this repair? Like they know that you fixed it.
How do they know?
Okay.
So they've never told me anything about it. I try not to repeat the same issues year after year with my house. Yeah, right? Most of them are fixed. That's correct. But an improvement is different. It's not gonna be listed under improvements on the HCAD under your profile. No.
But is fixed driveway adding value to the house?
It does, and that's the change. So it adds to the market value. And appraisal value, the appraisal district is trying to raise the appraisal value closer to the market value. It helps with the market value, but market value comes not directly from the fact that you have fixed your driveway. It comes from the fact that the properties around you are growing up.
Okay.
The market value is the combination of factors, like how much the person was, like what were the average sold prices around you. That this is the market approach, the sold prices around you. And yes, everything you do with your house, any improvement, any repair, any upgrade, it affects the market value of the home. The final market value, the market price will come up out of the sale. The market value is still an evaluation. And you can
Okay.
say you've made an evaluation, but you didn't know it. Lana, you didn't know that my house has this, and this failure, this deficiency. So reduce the market value. And for the appraisal value, it's quite the same. And that's what we're trying. We are trying to tell the appraisal district, hey, reduce it because you didn't know how bad was it. They can list the, and I might show it later on HCAT website if I will. I don't remember if in presentation there is a spot where I can check it, but again, I don't see where they're gonna put it online. Yes, it will affect the market value. The market value will be slowly affecting the appraised value, but remember, you have a 10% cap protection, right? So more likely, if the prices are going up, and for this year, the forecast is about 15 to 17% growth for this year. It's a forecast, it may change. If the economy crashes, everything gonna go, no one knows where, but so far, everything looks positive and the trend is going up. So the cap, you really need a cap. Apply for homestead, get this cap. And Lena, if the growth is 17%, your appraised value will go up more likely by 10%. And that's when you come and tell the appraisal district again, well, my house needs repairs, it's in poor condition. Or you can tell, well, my neighbor's house is evaluated 15,000 less. Why this happened? Because your neighbor went to protest the taxes this year and they reduced their price, but you did not. And next year, you start your protest with 300 as a beginning number you protest from, and your neighbor starts the protest from 2085, and they try to reduce it from 2085 down, and you're trying to reduce it from 300 to go down. Again, each year counts. Just do it every year. It would be helping you and your neighbors. So this was the repair strategy. I hope I have explained it clearly. If not, let me know. I'll go one more again. So how to fill out the form, green or white. This year I have it white. It's white. Last year it was, I don't know, white or green. It used to be green. You see the home exemption form is pink. I don't know if it's visible, but it's pink, but they use all colors for these papers. So how to fill it out? You can do it physically on paper, or you can go online and do pretty much the same. Make sure that all the information is correct. And these are, and don't forget to mark that you may get qualified for some exemptions. Check on this information. Have your exemptions in place. Make sure that you use the correct information and that you notify the appraisal district why you are protesting, that the market values or appraised values are unequal. So it means unfair or something like that. Incorrect descriptions. Let's say I've had it by myself a few years ago. So the appraisal district said that the house has 4 bedrooms. In reality, it was 3 bedrooms. So the person went to protest, and the number of bedrooms were reduced on HCAT, on appraisal district records, and the appraised value was reduced for this reason, because it was a mistake. You also can check whenever you purchase a house, the bank normally does an appraisal, most of cases, right? And when the appraiser, the person evaluating the house, comes to the house, they remeasure the house, check what was the measurement from your house when you purchased it. If the measurements from the appraiser are less than what you have on HCAT, then you can tell the appraisal district, hey, appraisal district, my house is smaller. But remember, it might not be the best thing to do, to be honest, because when you're gonna start reselling your house, you would be reselling a smaller house per appraisal district data. So think twice before you're gonna resell your, you're gonna notify the appraisal district that the square footage, one of the evaluations that you have is smaller than what the appraisal district has. Because it will affect the resale value of your house. And also it will affect the taxes, of course, but think what is more important for you. With the number of rooms, you know, it's hard not to see that there are 3 bedrooms, but not 4 bedrooms, and vice versa as well. No, it's a material fact. You can't just see what's going on, right? And I've seen it many times. When I come to the house, I show the house and say, wait, it says it's 3 bedroom, but it's already the 3rd, 4th bedroom, and now I see the 5th bedroom. What's going on? Surprise, 2 more bedrooms, bonus bedrooms. Compare, okay, the numbers, make sure so I also noticed, I also mentioned over here that you can check for the sales price with a realtor. Again, I'm here if you want to check if there are some sold comps in the area in Bagel and Reno that may help you to reduce your value for the tax purposes, let me know. I'll check it out for you. I'll send you the comps if there are any valid comps that might support the lower appraisal value for your house. Unfortunately, there were really only a few houses sold at 250 to 70 in 250 to 70 range this year. The prices are around 300 and over 300 if the house is in decent condition. If it needs some upgrades or some touches, some love, it could go at 270s or around that. But if the house looks nice, moving ready, most of the homes go at 300 or more. If they go, if it is listed, if the house is in good shape and it is listed for lower than 300, it's either the strategy where they want to get 50 offers and then to choose from, do more work and let the people write more offers, more paper, or it's just something is wrong with the house that you don't see from the, ask what's wrong there, and maybe you'll get notified. Maybe there's a foundation issue, maybe there's a stigma or something else going on. All right. So should you put the number on your protest, how much you think your house is worth for that appraisal district? Well, I used to say don't put it because you'll never know if you would be able to go really low, if the appraisal will suggest you a lower number. But honestly, I feel, and it's my personal opinion, that it's just so much easier to get an approval from the first step when you put a number in. Just put a number. If you want it quickly done, if you want easily done online through iFiling without necessity coming to the appraisal district for an appeal, just start with some number. Don't go too crazy about it. Like, let's say if you're using the repair approach, your house is assessed, the assessment value is 300, the assessed value for this year is 300, and then you have the evidence that you need to invest 30 more thousand to your house, just go for 30,000 less. Say, hey, you've evaluated it at 300, I need to invest 30 more, just please reduce it to 270. Just don't go too crazy about it. That's what I'm doing. I think if I have if I have quotes for 10,000, that's only what I'm gonna do for this year. Because I want it easy. I have no time to go to those appeals anymore in person. But if I have to, I would go. If they don't agree first time, I'll go the second round, and I will make sure I bring more evidence to prove that the house is not as much as they think. But from the beginning, if you want to have higher chances on an easy processing, just start with a number and don't be too positive on your end. Or maybe you would be more successful. I am, and go ahead. But from what I see, other people, I've been having lots of friends doing that, right? So that's why I give these recommendations. you can try to go with higher numbers. If you are successful with that, awesome. I'll be happy for you, and I will be glad if you can share your experience next year with us, because I do this seminar on a yearly basis. So step 5 over here, you want to see the documentation and the evidence that the appraisal district is using on their end. Because if you have to come to the official hearing to meet with the person or with the panel of people, 3 people, then you want to know what information they are using. So you can tell them, guys, you're wrong for this, this, and that reason. You need to have their information and their evidence. So I-filing or e-filing. I love it. Quick, easy, everything is done online, and I'll show you how I did this year. So you go to, I'm recording this presentation, so you'll have it on YouTube. You will be able to go over those steps, or just make a picture with your phone if you want to have it tonight and you want to do it tonight. So just make a picture of each slide I have here. So you go to HCAD website. There was here's the, you say hcad.org. That's the link. You go there, you click online services, you click I-file protest. Then you will have to fill out your username and password. If you don't have one, sign up. Sign up, go through it's an easy processing. Make sure you have your ID with you. So once you see your profile, there would be this thing. Oops, sorry. Here's your account number, and that's where you can I-file a protest, right? This is your notice. Make sure you have all the information correct. I-file online. Here you can list your exemptions that you get qualified for. If you only qualify for homestead, just keep this page. Then you see over here, that's my suggestion. If you want it easier, put a number over here. If you want to give it a try and go with a lower amounts, don't put it here and try to reduce it as much as possible, but you will have to come in person for that. If you want to do it online, do it here, get it done. So once you're done this, you need to mark what's wrong with their evaluation, right? So I suggest mark it as an over market or an equal evaluation. Here you can again put the number. If you have purchased the house, like if you have purchased the house last year, 2021, you can protest using this amount and send a copy of your closing statement saying, hey, this is maybe more, right? So normally they will reduce the appraisal number, the appraisal evaluation number to the number you've purchased the house for. And it was Elena's case, but she wanted to go lower than this amount. Well, not lower, but at least at this amount. I see a lot, like people purchased houses last year and the appraised values for this year are much higher than what they've purchased it for. I see it everywhere. So my recommendation, just use this approach. Put the number, how much you purchased it for, the date of the purchase, but don't forget to attach a closing statement. And I'll show you how to do it later. It would be in one of my slides. So all the evidence needs to be sent. And here is another approach. Property description incorrection is incorrect. This is the repair approach. House has unrepaired damage. visible from exterior. Lena, that's your case. House has unrepaired damage not visible from exterior. This is something from the inside that you can't see from outside, but again, show the, I don't know, stains, broken walls, and present the quotes and say, hey, I need to invest this amount, reduce the appraisal value. That's the repair approach. It's right here. Make sure you put the right marks and numbers, whatever can be applied towards your case. So over here, I recommend to mark that you want to see their documentation, the evidence they are using for their evaluations. Oops, sorry. Over here, you can list before you add the quotes, you can list some facts in this section. And I've done it last year and it worked. I had no, unfortunately, last year I had no quotes. I didn't prepare on time. But I've listed this and this are the deficiencies. The average price of this repair for my area is from this to that amount. So I gave them the averages of certain repairs and told them that at the end, I've listed 3 things that were visible to me last year. And at the end, I made the calculation saying the total investment that I need to put into my house is like from 10 to 15,000. Please reduce my appraised value for 12,000. And you know, it worked even without the quotes. I was so happy. It was a really tryout, but it worked without official quotes, just using the average numbers. But those were the true, you know, I know that the averages for the area. So I used the averages. I told them that's what it is, and it worked for the repair approach. It was so easy, but I'm not sure if it would work all the time, right? The better way is to present an official quote. So here at the bottom of this page, you can put the name of the person who would be representing you at the hearing if you need to come there. It could be your friend, family member. You can hire a special company to represent you. And that's one of the things I would suggest to do at the end of the presentation. And I'll do it now again. Just if you can't do it by yourself, hire someone to do it. They don't charge you up front. Make sure they do. But if they are working on it on a yearly basis, it will help you save money. Next, you can choose what you want to go with. Single family panel or a full panel where it's 3 people on a panel. I prefer for 1 person. You know, I feel more comfortable to make an agreement with 1 person than with 3 people at a time. At least to start with 1 person would be good for me. If you prefer to go to a group and present to a group, it's up to you. Make sure that's your choice. I would prefer to do everything online instead of meeting with people. but it's because I'm busy and have no time. Some people have more time, and you know, I'm jealous about that. But yeah, maybe meeting with them would be more efficient. Just see what you can do. So you can do it through the Zoom, a virtual meeting, even with HCAD, or meet in person. Again, it's up to you what you prefer to do, how you feel more comfortable. I think if you start meeting with people, physical contact with present makes it different. But if you don't have time to drive to HCAD and it's a long way from us, you can do it online, like virtually. So I have provided them with my phone number because I want to, if they decide to meet with me, I want to receive notification with message. That's how it's easier to reach me, because I check text messages on a regular basis every 30-40 minutes if I'm not in a meeting or busy with something. So I check it regularly, right? I want to receive as many notifications as possible. I don't want to miss out. So I mark everything, every way of communication and notification for this important matter, I want to receive. That's why I've marked it like that. And they provide you at the end with this page with a summary of your protest. Make sure everything is correct. Once you think it's correct, just push next, and that's what you're gonna see. Wait a second. There you go. The protest submitted. Yay! And it's easy. And hopefully it will be successful. You push complete, and then you can come back to your account and see over here, you can upload and view files. If you have any evidence, at least the pictures of the deficiencies, put them there. The pictures of the deficiencies, that just take your phone, go make a picture, upload it over here, you're done. Provide them with the numbers for the quotes, tell them how much and why you want it to be reduced. That's it. It might take a little bit longer if you're doing it for the first time. Every next year, it will be easier and easier. So here you upload the file, the closing statement, deed, appraisal, or other, or photos. So just make sure you choose something that you, whatever you're applying, whatever you're uploading. That's how it looks like once you start uploading it. Upload the file, done, and then it appears. And how to check if it appeared, again, go and check over here, upload and view the file. Once you upload it, you can go back and say, upload and view the file. And that's what you're gonna see. You're gonna see this, that this one is already uploaded, and upload another one. Upload more, as many as you need. So this is the slide with the recommendation on how to communicate with appraisal district if you're meeting with people over there with the panel. First of all, the appraisal district has nothing to do with your tax payments. They only come up with the value of your house. So talk to them in the terms of values, not the terms of taxes. Because when you start talking about taxes with them, this shows to the panelists, to the appraisal district people, that you don't understand what you're talking about. We're here not about the taxes. We're here only about the values. Make sure you know the right way to communicate with them. Only about values. They set up the value, tell them that the value that they've set up is wrong for this, and this reason. That's it. And remember, if you're meeting with someone in person, bring the copies for that person. Or if you're meeting with a panel of 3 people, bring the copies for each member. I recommend bring 4 copies of everything you have. Your application, your pictures, your quotes, 4 folders with same materials in there. It will show that you're prepared and help you to present well. So life estates. The life estate is a legal procedure how you delegate certain rights to a person who lives in the house, and it might help you to save on taxes. Because if it's your investment property for whatever reason, and maybe your friend or relative or your son, daughter lives in there, and you want them to be able to apply for some exemptions, you can. Again, it's technically how it works. You can provide them with life estate, and then the life estate person can still apply for the exemptions. That's how it's supposed to work. There's a lot of specifics of what should be done, how, and it's not a very straightforward procedure. So just make sure you consult with an attorney who prepares helps to prepare the documents for you. Another thing, a disabled veteran who lives in the house, if the owner is a disabled veteran, make sure you know that you have that conversation with some of your representatives for the VA organization, for the veterans organization, that you have the right paperwork, and then you can apply for the exemptions and get a certain amounts for the reductions of the taxes. That may help a lot. So basically, that's all the information I was going to share with you today. And please let me know if you have any questions. Yelena, I know you've asked a few questions during the presentation, but please, you're welcome with more.
I have 2 more.
Awesome.
Okay, so I just wanted to clarify, yeah, if we want to claim repairs, you said January 1st, right? The repairs should be done before January 1st or after? Like,
So here's the thing, let's see. So on January the 1st of 2022, the appraisal district looked at your house and they came up with an appraisal value for this year.
okay,
So they have the estimate of the condition of your house as of January the 1st, 2022. On January 15, you can do whatever you want, because the January the 1st is already in the past. And that's when the appraisal district came up with their proposed value. It's
okay,
a proposed value. If you plan to repair the house during the 2022, that's okay. But if on January the 1st of 2022, it was broken,
Mhm.
you can still tell them as of January the 1st, this was wrong. This was
like I can tell them, like, yes, you appraised it on January 1st, but you couldn't see the damages that were inside the house. Like, this is how it works. Okay. And the
Yeah,
second,
just-
yeah. And the second question is like, does the appraisal office have access to the like bank appraisals? Let's say I made the refinance this year. They cannot see it because
this is your private information. The appraisal, it's a confidential information. You as
Mhm.
a lender have access to it. I'm a realtor. I can't get access to the appraisal unless my client delegates me this right, sends me the appraisal, or tells the lender, hey, lender, send this information to my realtor as well. No one knows.
Okay.
It's private. It's private.
Okay. Okay.
So the information on the number for the mortgage itself, that's what they can see. How big is the mortgage amount for the house? That's what they can find. But what was the appraisal between you and the appraiser and appraisal company? They should not be able to see that because it's private information.
Yeah,
Private,
because the value of the house apparently have risen, right? When I did the refinance.
when you did the refinance, and if the appraised value per appraisal is lower than the appraised value from the appraisal district, you can use it as an evidence as well.
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
if because appraisal is an official evaluation of your house.
Okay.
So if the appraised value on your appraisal report from the refinance from the last year is lower than what you see
Yes, I got you. Yeah,
on
I think I
HCAD from the appraisal district, you can provide it as an evidence
Mhm.
home value.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good thing.
The direction of the appraisal district, but I see that it is a very good official paper
Mhm.
and evidence.
Okay.
Other questions?
I have a question. So I have protested the last couple of years and was successful with my protest last year. And I've done the kind of the option 2 on the assessed values thing, where I looked at the different homes in my area, like very close to me, and also like the same layout as our home in the neighborhood. and done it that way to say, hey, these were valued lower than mine, and this is what I think mine should be based off of those numbers. And so when I tried to look at that math this year, with the market value going up so much, our homestead exemption capped our appraised value much lower than our market value. And so if I were to try to protest it this year, I would be what you're protesting is the appraised value, not the market value, correct? So
Right.
if I think my appraised value is actually where it should be, but the market value is way too high, it doesn't really even make sense for me to do anything because I wouldn't be changing the appraisal value, correct?
Try
Try it.
Still try it again. If you want to do it in 5 minutes, again, 5-10 minutes, right? Go online, do an iFiling, find some deficiencies in your house. At least something. Let's say the fence looks bad, right? Make a picture of the hole in the fence, tell them my fence is in poor condition, and the average price per square foot of the fence replacement in this, and that. And this is how long is this section. Give them the bulk number, give them the average number, how much it could cost, and tell them, please reduce, and see what they do. If nothing, it was 5 minutes of your time. If they see something, it was yay.
But do you have to actually have full quotes from contractors for that though?
The best way to do it, yes. I had it last year when I didn't have any quotes, unfortunately, because I didn't prepare myself that well. You know, it was COVID, it was crazy.
Yeah.
But I've used I just wrote it down. The average price of this repair for my area is from this number to that number.
So just
And that's how I've presented it. I showed them the pictures of the deficiencies. I told them those are the average numbers for the repairs, and that was it.
okay. And you just got those average numbers just from Googling, just searching?
Google is your friend. Or you can text something to your local contractors and spend another 10 minutes on that if you want. At least just give it a try. Just give it a try.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Go to the most expensive contractor.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, any other questions? No? All right, well, then I want to thank you for coming and I hope it was helpful. If you have questions, let me know.
Thank you, Lana.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye, thank you.
Thank you for coming. Bye.